Okay, in a way, what my Bartok suite needs now is a sort of a talking through. There were certain things that caught me, partly because I made some false decisions that got in my way. I'm going to go to the third movement because that bugged me the most, certainly. Tempo primo on page 12. It's not a horrifying thing because I was able to finish relatively well, but then when I got to the next tempo, I wasn't able to do several things. One, remember exactly what octave the next statement is in. This one is, and since it's single notes, I just sort of thought of this register. The next one is actually in octaves, as high as you can get. And then the B tonality is quite obvious at the beginning, where the left hand is playing these fifths. Alas, it's less obvious, so I wasn't able to grab my chord as is typical here. That's the same chord. Well, is there an E even there? No. There's a B in there, and there's an F sharp, but very little of it for me. Reinforces the sense of B. So I need to have reminded myself instead. The other problem, which is always an issue, is the fact that there is no physical relatedness to here and there. It's black notes, that's one thing that goes in. It's a ninth. A B in there, that's hardly what I'm going to orient to. And then a B. Okay, and to go back, this previous, it's always an issue because the left hand needs to be kept track of. Partly because it does the same thing over and over most of the time. Way down at the bottom of the page, it plays a fourth rather than the fifth. Then it goes back, and again it does it. It's the note, the beat just before. Gets even more static. Feel good in that section. This is a good thing. It's not that it's a terrible section. I can survive it quite well, but I don't want to survive it. I want to feel on top of It was G sharp. B. Okay, one could think that's the rest of G7s with the B missing. Anyway. So it's not particularly well prepared. In other words, that's not the most logical thing, so you have to know it. So it's a surprise. And then the other thing is where that G is. It's the lowest G octave. Just and I do recall not going to this position with the third on the bottom. There it is. I must admit, terribly ungainly demand by Bartok. Had he demanded a third on top, that would have been easier, but he's got the motion on the top, then the third on the bottom. So it's maybe a little comma in my head. Then it's E. And it's with a seventh involved. No. And F. So it's G and E and F. Through. I missed this. I went for part of the next one. So it's F, back to the G. Put a G minor in. Right hand stays. which is the same as we were just on. So. Because we're already out of that section. D flat. So we start on an F, and then D flat. And B. We need this bass line. C, just like the G against F here. Okay, so. Again, and where? Way up here. 2 octaves actually. So not really. It starts just as we had on the previous page. It went up an octave from a single note, but here up the octave. Actually, it is the same kind of treatment. Where it started, on B, open B fifth. So okay, I'm going to go back. No, I need to go back before there because the trouble was in getting there. I'm going to go all the way back to nervous about it, and so I made even my bass down there be nervous. And one of the reasons is I wanted to bring my thumb up here to use the same fingering as the opening of this movement. It's not critical. Maybe it's too much trouble. two things signaled. I signaled the third statement, which is here, but the second left hand, which is here. So that's not a help. Let me get this right.